Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Mavani. Today is 7th July and let's have a positive start. To lead people, walk behind them. The thing that I can tell you about this quotation is that be a team player, right? It's very important to be a team player. Even if you are a manager or even if you are at a leadership position in this hierarchy of a given organization, it is very important that you are basically the core of your heart, and of course your working style should be of a team player and not like a boss. This is very important, particularly in today's world. With this, dear friends, we have many articles to go through. This is about MSP, a minimum support price. This one is about a new trade order, Mr. Trump and his protectionist theory. I have got a bonus editorial for you guys from Economic Times. This one is about Germany. German Chancellor Angela Merkel and the things that are going on in her country, and I have got a very important picture for you guys. It's about Schengen agreement, but before that, let me tell you that up to 50% discount is available on our pen drive and tablet courses. This is going to last till 9th of July. Registrations are open for our test series as well. The first test series will be delivered to you on 10th of July, available both in Hindi and English. Check out testseries.studyiq.com. With this, dear friends, you will find the PDF of today's lecture on my Facebook page and Twitter handle. Make sure you share it with other people and don't forget to hit the like button. A political ploy. Now, central government has given this its green signal to hike minimum support price for this Kharif summer crops. Do you know the difference between Kharif crops and Rabi crops? If not, then you need to get your basics right. We have two major crop season in our country. One is Kharif, that is associated with monsoon season, and the Rabi is associated with Rabi season, of course, is associated with winter crop production. You have one more season called Zayed, and this season is a summer. It's basically associated with fruits and vegetables, right? Sugar melon, watermelon, cucumber, and other things that we find in summer period. But as far as these two major crop seasons are concerned, we have one Kharif and one is Rabi. Now you can see the range here. This hike of minimum support price, it varies from 3.7% of urad to as high as 52.5% of ragi. Government is claiming that it has fulfilled its promise of 150% MSP, or 150% of the cost of production. If you are confused about this 150%, then let me break it down for you. 100 rupees is your cost of production, all your inputs, everything, the total is 100 rupees, say for example. Then on top you will be given 50 rupees, so in total you will get 150 rupees, and this is what we call 150% of your cost of production. This was promised by government during its this year's budget, and this is something that we are seeing being applied in this Kharif season. Now the thing is that, dear friends, we have a commission in our country. It is called Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices. Before I take you through this decision that has been taken by this CACP, or this Commission for Agricultural Costs and Prices, I discussed things about CACP a couple of days ago in PIB analysis as well. So I thought, let me share this important information for you guys. The main job of this CACP, is to recommend fair price for all major crops in our country. This is one of the most important and main aim or main job or responsibility of this CACP. However, this CACP arrives at this fair price, it will go through the demand of a particular product or a crop. It will check the supply, stock, international price, and other relevant factors. It will go through all these important factors, and then it will come out with a fair price. Now, CACP has also decided that this cost plus 50% principle is all right as far as this agriculture or this Kharif crops are concerned. So government as well as the CACP are on the same page. Now the thing is, while making calculation, the good thing is that CACP has also included this unpaid family labor. Most of the time, you know that this unpaid family labor is not included. So far it was not included, you can say, but now it is included. And if you see this MSP for Bajra, then it has been pegged up to 97%, right, which is a good thing for the farmers. But it's not all good, right? It's not all, you can say, it's not roses for farmers, right? There are some challenges. The thing is that MSP is basically one of the main reasons why we find farmers or distress in farming community. You'd be wondering how. I will take you through it, this thing as well. But before that, let me tell you one thing, that during this budget, the government also promised that Niti Aayog is going to come out with a foolproof mechanism, right, so that farmers get their adequate remuneration, even if this MSP is, or even if the market price is below MSP. But so far, we haven't seen anything, right? We don't know what's the status of this foolproof mechanism. This thing has not been clarified for us. One more thing that we know, that this MSP has been increased. Of course, it was declared in budget, but you find this thing because you know that general elections are just around the corner, and we have also seen this thing that farmers' political clout has strengthened. We have witnessed multiple protests last year, and of course in the first half of this year as well. Now, one of the main reasons why MSP is not that good, or increasing MSP is not the final solution, because what happens is that when you increase MSP, then next year as well farmers will, you know, opt for that particular crop, and then what will happen in the market is that the supply will increase of that particular crop and demand will stay as it is, so prices will fall down. So this leads to excess production, higher MSP, and of course this is not you can say a sort of everlasting solution. The other thing is this overpricing, you know, overproduction. At the same time, government provides this free and ultra cheap electricity, so many a times farmers will go ahead, or they will opt for all those crops that are basically, you can say, not fit for their region, right? Say for example sugarcane in Maharashtra's Vidarbha region. Now sugarcane in Bihar and Uttar Pradesh is alright, because you have gigantic rivers, as well as you have good water table too. But talking about Vidarbha area in Maharashtra, you have less rainfall. At the same time, you know, water table is going down, and when you are provided with this free and ultra cheap electricity, at the same time you find that you are been given with a sort of subsidy for your water pump, all these things, and higher MSP will push this farmer of Vidarbha to go ahead with this sugarcane. And what we find is that sugarcane will be, or will find this overproduction of sugarcane, and finally farmers will lose because of too much production and falling of market price. So this is, of course, as you can see, not a proper solution. Moving on to another item, the new trade order. This item that you find, this picture I found in first page of Economic Times, and as I told you, I have also got a bonus editorial for you guys for this tariff war that is brewing, or in fact has started between USA and China, and we'll go through the collateral damage that the world will face because of this trade war. Now, if we see this administration of Mr. Trump, then he has lashed out at allies as well as adversaries alike, right? He has been same as far as these allies and adversary, or friends and foes, are concerned. He has been severe with both of them. This is a bit strange, because what we find here is that, say for example China, you know that China and USA, on one side they are good trade partners, means huge trade or bilateral trade is humongous, but on the other side, you know that they are competitors as well. There's power struggle that is going on between them. So USA has and most of the time USA is not wrong as well, that USA has severe, you can say, critical views against China as far as this intellectual property rights are concerned. China has been breaching it for sure. Many a times we find this thing that it has breached these intellectual property rights of USA's company. The other thing is that recently this G7 meeting took place in Canada, and at that point of time as well, Mr. Trump was very ballistic against all these other 6 countries of this G7 with say for example Canada. With Canada, USA is having a trade surplus. If you go through this bilateral trade of USA and Canada, then you find that it is tilted in favor of USA. Then as well, USA or Mr. Trump was against this Canada's protective dairy regime. He has also spoiled his relationship with old allies like UK and European Union, and this thing may create a sort of group, right, that will be led by China, of course, and other countries will support China's stand against USA, or will finally, this needle will be pointed towards USA, that USA is the main culprit to start this trade war. The other thing is you find this important line here, that economists reckon every 100 billion of imports hit would take away 0.5% of global trade. A very important point here, as I have used this word called collateral, right? Collateral damage that is going to happen because of this problem that is going on between USA and China. One more thing, dear friends, that see, Chinese premier back in May 2018, he visited Washington to sort out these problems regarding this tariff war. Trump administration was okay with his deal, but after a week or something, they have cancelled this deal. The other thing is this general agreement on tariffs and trade, that is GATT, as well as World Trade Organization. They were designed to make sure that everyone is playing by the rule, and it was never designed to give a sort of free hand to this major powers. But what we find today is that these major powers, they are basically ducking these rules and regulations of this GATT and World Trade Organization, particularly USA, and this is one of the main reasons, like, no country wants to wait for this dispute settlement mechanism's final verdict on this tariff war that is going on. Every country, or most of the country, they have started taking actions on their own. As far as interest of American people is concerned, there are 140,000 Americans who are directly working in steel production, but there are 20 lakh people working in those industries that use steel as a raw material. So by doing all these things, Mr. Trump can make this 140,000 people happy. But what about this other 20 lakh people? And we are also finding this thing that his party, Republican Party, is also, there is a turmoil going on within the Republican Party, because Republican Party stands for business. They stand for this, labor and other classes. And if things are, because of this tariff war, if things are going against the interest of US economy, and it will happen, not now but in future. So this is a stand that is taken by many important leaders within Mr. Trump's party. The only, you can say, body that can control this whole thing that is going on, or that has been pushed or fueled by Mr. Trump, is the Congress of USA. So we have to wait and watch whether Congress will genuinely take a sort of action on this stand of Mr. Trump. Now, going through this bonus, you can say, editorial, because today is Saturday, as you know that we don't have that many articles. I was having enough time to add one more article, and this article is in line with what we have discussed so far. Now, USA tariffs of 25% on 34 billion worth of imports from China, right, and retaliatory, that means tit for tat. China has done the same thing. This trade war has finally kicked in from this Friday. The other thing is that Mr. Trump has said that he is going to add some more items, and China has said that of course we will return the favor. Tit for tat is going on, and as I told you that the rest of the world would suffer collateral damage. There are three important points that we have to keep in our mind. The first one is that if China cannot sell its steel to USA, then it will dump this thing to other markets. So what will happen? Other countries will start, raising this tariff barriers, and this will kick in protective tariffs. So trade war will find some more countries being part of it. The other thing is global growth could hurt, because this whole supply chain. Now China is a very important player as far as this raw material is concerned, right? It's not just pure raw material we are talking about. When I say raw material, you can add, or you can take semi-finished goods or finished goods for your industry, could be semi-finished or raw material for other industries. So this whole global growth could hurt because of this thing. And the third thing is that share prices will fall down, and capital from emerging countries like India, China and ASEAN nations, all this capital that was invested in all these countries will go back to this developed countries, and this will, of course, as you know, right, will create big problems for the whole world and global economy. Now moving on to Germany, Merkel's deal. Now Angela Merkel, the lady that you can see on your screen, she has gone through many ups and downs in recent past. She is going through her fourth term as Chancellor of Germany, and back in 2017 September there was election, election took place in Germany, but her party, she has not got, or her party has not got majority. So at present we have this coalition government that is supported by many parties in Germany. That's what we find at present. And of course, the challenges of coalition government. All your supporters, they would be having different views. Many times their demands would not match with the Chancellor's demand. So you find many problems. Now again, she has just recently sorted out a refugee question that was lurking. Now you have this different party, a party called CSU. Now this CSU party has Horst Seehofer, who is interior, equivalent to or counterpart of Home Minister of our country. So you have Horst Seehofer, who is Home Minister of Germany or Interior Minister of Germany, and he belongs to a different party than that of Miss Merkel. So, this migration thing that is going on in Europe at present, and refugees coming from different Syria and different parts of Africa. So earlier on, somewhere around 14 or 2016, at that point of time, Angela Merkel was ready to embrace this, and in fact Germany has embraced and allowed many refugees to become part of German society. The good thing about Germany, or this early decision that was taken by Germany, the benefit that it got was all those doctors and highly skilled people, professors and doctors and PhD holders and all these highly skilled people, right, they got settled in Germany. But later on, what we find in Europe is there are different parties in different countries. They are against this asylum giving strategy of their government, and at present this chancellor is facing something similar, right? This gentleman, his name is Horst Seehofer, who is home minister. He threatened that he will resign, and this might have created fall of government and new election. To make sure that this sort of political troubles are not generated, Miss Merkel came out with a very, you can say, unique solution, right? The solution is that this migrants or this immigrants, basically, these refugees, they will be kept on this transit centers on the border of with Austria without allowing them to enter this main Germany. They will be kept near this border area, and as soon as they are, you know, basically you have this Schengen passport agreement. Let me explain this thing to you, and then you will understand why they will be kept at border area. So this is this countries with the navy blue color are part of this Schengen agreement. Now, as per this Schengen agreement, say for example you are a Spanish citizen, and if you want to go to Germany, so you don't need any visa at all. Now, of course, you can take a flight, or if you think that you want to go via road, then you can do that as well. It's not that you will not require visa for Germany. You will not require visa for France or Luxembourg or Belgium or Netherlands, right? So this is like you can freely move from one place to another in this Schengen area of European continent, right? Not all countries are part of this Schengen area, as you can see on your screen. Now, dear friends, it is something similar to what we have in our country, right? You can go from Maharashtra to Madhya Pradesh. You don't need any visa or any permission, right? So this is something similar to what's going on in Europe under this Schengen agreement. Now you can see here that Germany and Austria, they are sharing their borders with each other. So different countries, right, have decided, this European countries, they have decided that, say for example, Poland will take 5 refugees, Germany will take 6 refugees, Austria will take 1, Belgium will take 2, France will take 3, say for example. So if from Hungary, right, a person is heading towards this France, and of course he or she has to go through this Austria or Germany, say for example, then for time being, right, earlier on they were allowed to stay inside Germany for time being, but now this deal has been decided that they will be kept nearby this Austria, or this border nearby Austria, and once they get their green signal from France, they will be transported to France directly. So this is a deal that has been you can say done or been signed by or agreed by this interior minister and chancellor. So far, right, this party has saved, or this coalition government is saved or safe. But the problem is, what we find is that extreme forces are strengthening in different parts of Europe, and many times it is also reported that this Schengen agreement may come to an end. You will also, you know, if Germany is down, if Germany is been taken over by extreme forces, then days of European Union will come to an end as well, because at present you have only 2 important players, Germany and France, who are working as a glue for this European Union. With this, dear friends, before taking you through important news item, I would like to add or take you through a very important information here. The thing is, dear friends, that with pen drive and tablet courses, the best thing, one of the best thing about them is that you can get flexibility. Now you'll be wondering that yes, flexibility is a thing, but how it actually works. The thing is, imagine that I'm sure, right, many of you are nocturnal, right? You like to study in the dark hours, and many of you are early riser. So it depends what is best for you. Many of you would be not at your peak during afternoon, but in the evening and morning you would be at your peak. So this flexibility you can get only with pen drive and tablet courses. This is something that is not available in traditional coaching classes. So make sure you check out StudyIQ.com to find out more about it. With this, I have got some important news for you. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan, he is sentenced for 10 years in jail for corruption. Supreme Court has again clarified this thing, that CJI alone is master of roster, and when we say CJI, we are not talking about this collegium, right? We are just talking about the Chief Justice of India. This has been clarified by Supreme Court. Won't deport Zakir Naik has been said by Mahathir, and government has deployed or will deploy 800 IAS officers for making sure that this central government schemes are applied and maximum benefits are achieved from this central schemes. So we have 115 aspirational districts, and this young officers, enthusiastic officers will be deployed here. And academic world is not happy with this HECI, Higher Education Commission of India. Why it is not happy with it? Make sure you go through this news item. And nuclear deal partners like this 5+1 drop USA, and apart from that other partners have said that they are going to support Iran. Pompeo has arrived in North Korea, and Mr. Ardia has indicated or has informed that petro products may enter GST in stages. With this, I have got some important news items from this Economic Times for you guys. You can see here this rude jolt. It is about this Mauritius. Mauritius is not happy with India. India terming Mauritius as a high-risk country. And as far as this foreign direct investment or foreign portfolio investment is concerned, right, Mauritius is number 2 after USA. So this is a very important item. Go through it. It is on the first page of Economic Times. Then you have this one, by the book, government panel deliberates on economic rules. ED, right, they are going to set up a new you can say department that will look after this foreign direct investment or e-commerce related frauds or issues. Very important article again, or a very important concept, and this is going to be a big talk of the town or talk of the nation, right? Nikah, halala and polygamy. And here you find a statement coming from former Union Minister Arif Muhammad Khan. It is also said or reported in the media that government is going to consult Arif Muhammad Khan about this nikah halala and this polygamy. I have talked about this nikah halala and polygamy in 6th July's PIB. Make sure you check it out. Here he has clearly said that this is something that is not permitted as per Quran, right? The Quran is not giving you green signal for having multiple wives. This has been said or clarified by Arif Muhammad Khan. And then you have this facing headwinds, Chinese airlines and Indian airlines, right? When I say Indian airlines, I'm not talking about Air India, I'm talking about other companies. So basically China and India, right, we have a limited quota, and China wants to increase its quota. This was been, you can say, opposed by Indian airlines, and this has been, of course, rejected by Indian government as well. That's everything in today's discussion. These are your answers. These are your questions. I'll see you all soon tomorrow. Enjoy your weekend. Jai Hind.